Have you ever caught yourself thinking, well, I guess this is just how life is now? Maybe after a little ache in the knee that wasn't there before, or when you find yourself turning down invitations, feeling more tired than curious, or even just settling into a quiet routine that no longer brings much joy. If that's ever happened to you, you're not alone. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with slowing down a little. Rest can be a beautiful thing. But sometimes, without realizing it, we let certain beliefs sneak into our minds. Beliefs that feel harmless on the surface. But underneath, they quietly chip away at our health, our hope, and even our lifespan. Today, I want to talk with you, heart to heart, about some of those beliefs. Not to scold or criticize, but because I care. And I know that no matter your age, there is still so much life waiting for you. Life that can be fuller, richer, and more joyful than you might expect. But to get there, we sometimes have to shine a light on the thoughts holding us back. Let's start with the first one, probably the most common and the most dangerous of all. It's the belief that it's too late to change. Have you ever thought that? That maybe your habits are too set in stone, or your body is too old, or your opportunities have already passed you by? This belief is like a slow poison. It tells you there's no point in trying, that your best years are behind you and all you can do now is coast. But here's the truth, and I want you to really hear this. It is never too late to change. Your body is constantly renewing itself. Your brain can still create new connections. Your heart is still capable of feeling joy, purpose, love, and growth. Just think about it. If change weren't possible, how do we explain those people who start walking every day at 70 and suddenly feel 10 years younger? Or those who pick up a new hobby at 75 and find themselves more alive than they've been in decades? Change doesn't have to mean turning your life upside down. It can be as simple as swapping out one unhealthy meal a day, or taking a daily walk around the block, or spending 5 quiet minutes each morning breathing deeply and setting an intention. Tiny steps matter. They build momentum. They remind your mind and your body that you are still an active participant in your own life story, not just watching from the sidelines. One woman I spoke to recently started stretching every morning at 72. Just 10 minutes. Nothing fancy. But within 2 weeks, she noticed less stiffness in her back and more energy in the afternoons. And the best part? That small shift gave her the confidence to make another change. She started adding a little more color to her plate, fruits, vegetables, whole grains. And then another, cutting back on those long nights watching TV and choosing to read or call a friend instead. It didn't take a miracle. It just took the belief that she still had power over her life. And so do you. Now let's talk about another belief that tends to sneak in quietly. Slowing down means I'm doing something wrong. This one is tricky because yes, our bodies do change as we age. We may need more rest, more recovery, more care, but that doesn't mean we're broken. It just means we're in a different season. Just like you don't expect roses to bloom in the middle of winter, we can't expect our 70-year-old selves to operate like we did at 30. And that's okay. The danger is in the shame we place on ourselves for not moving as fast or not being as productive. We internalize this belief that aging equals weakness, that if we're not go, go, go all the time, something is wrong with us. But the truth is, slowing down can be a sign of wisdom. It's your body telling you, let's move with more intention now. Let's rest so we can rise stronger. Let's choose quality over quantity. There's strength in gentleness. There's power in listening to your body and honoring its needs instead of pushing through exhaustion. And oddly enough, when we allow ourselves to rest, to move mindfully, to care deeply for ourselves, we actually end up living longer because we're not burning out. We're not running ourselves ragged. We're walking in rhythm with who we are now, not who we used to be. I remember a gentleman who used to jog every morning, even when his knees started giving him trouble. He believed that slowing down meant giving up. But after a long talk with his doctor and a little soul searching, he switched to swimming. At first, he missed the pavement under his feet. But over time, he found something surprising. He actually felt better in the water, stronger, more free. His body recovered faster. His mind felt clearer. All because he allowed himself to evolve, instead of fighting the change. So if you've been beating yourself up for not being as quick or as strong as you used to be, let me offer this instead. What if this pace is exactly right for you now? What if slowing down is what allows you to truly live? To notice the beauty in your days, to feel the breeze on your face, to be present with the people you love. There's no trophy for pushing through pain, but there is great reward in showing up for yourself with compassion, in treating your body like a partner instead of a problem, and in recognizing that the way you move through the world now is not lesser. It's just different, and different can be just as meaningful. Now that we've explored these first two beliefs, the idea that it's too late to change, and the fear that slowing down means failure, I want you to pause and take a breath. Really sit with those thoughts. Ask yourself if they've been showing up in your life, maybe without you even noticing. And know this, awareness is the beginning of transformation. The moment you spot a belief that's been holding you back, you create space to replace it with something better, something kinder, something truer to the vibrant, capable person you still are. You know, as we get older, we're often told to accept things as they are. And sure, there's wisdom in acceptance. But there's also a fine line between accepting reality and giving up on the possibilities still ahead. That's why the next belief I want to talk about can be especially sneaky. It's the idea that feeling lonely is just part of getting older. It can start quietly. Maybe your children live far away. Maybe old friends have moved or passed on. Social invitations may slow down. Even simple things like going to the store or chatting with neighbors can feel harder than they used to. So you tell yourself, this is just how it is. I'm older now. It's normal to feel isolated. But here's the truth. Loneliness is not a natural part of aging. It's not something we have to accept. And more importantly, it's not just an emotional issue. It can affect your body in very real physical ways. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can be just as harmful to your health as smoking or obesity. It increases your risk for heart disease, cognitive decline, depression, and even a shorter lifespan. But here's the hopeful part. Loneliness doesn't mean you're alone in the world. It means you're in need of connection. And connection can come in many forms, even in small and beautiful ways. Maybe it's a morning phone call with a friend, or chatting with someone at the park, or joining a walking group, a church gathering, or even an online community. One woman I know started writing letters to her grandchildren once a week, real, handwritten letters, and it became something they all looked forward to. Not only did it give her a sense of purpose, but it created a deeper bond with her family. Sometimes people hesitate to reach out because they're afraid of being a burden, or they think nobody wants to hear from them. But the truth is, people crave connection just as much as you do. You reaching out could be the lifeline someone else needs too. And even if it feels awkward at first, just taking that first step can open doors you didn't even know were still there. I remember a gentleman in his 80s who joined a local gardening club. He'd been widowed for years and hadn't had much social interaction in a long time. At first, he just showed up and listened. But little by little, he started talking, sharing stories, laughing again. His energy came back. His face looked lighter. And all it took was showing up just once, and letting the spark of connection do the rest. So if you've been feeling a little invisible lately, or like your days are passing quietly without much contact, please don't write that off as just the way things are. There are still people to meet, friendships to grow, conversations to be had, even now, especially now. And that brings me to another belief I've seen steal so much joy from so many lives. It's the thought that taking care of myself isn't a priority anymore. That belief might sound strange at first, but think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'm too old to worry about my diet, or I've made it this far, I'm not going to start exercising now, or even it doesn't matter if I stay up late or skip my medicine. It's too late for any of that to make a difference. It may feel like self-care is a young person's game, but nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the older we get, the more important it becomes to care for ourselves, because the little things matter more now. The quality of your sleep, the food you eat, how much you move, how you manage stress. These are the things that shape your health on a daily basis. And the good news? Even small changes can bring huge benefits. Self-care isn't about vanity. It's not about six-pack abs or flawless skin. It's about keeping your body strong enough to support your dreams, your freedom, your relationships. It's about being able to pick up your grandchild, walk to your favorite spot at the park, or cook a meal you love without feeling drained. It's about living, not just existing. And let me be clear, self-care doesn't have to mean overhauling your entire life. It can start with a glass of water first thing in the morning, or going to bed 30 minutes earlier, or swapping a sugary snack for something with fiber and protein. It's the small things done consistently that start to shift how you feel. One gentleman I met had been skipping breakfast for years. He didn't feel hungry, and it just didn't seem important. But he often felt tired by 10 a.m., and he chalked up to age. One day, his doctor suggested trying a protein-rich breakfast, just eggs and toast. Within a week, his mornings felt completely different. He was more alert, more focused, and even started taking short walks because he had more energy. Just one change, one small step, but it made a world of difference. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's sacred. It's a way of honoring this life you've been given, and it sends a powerful message to yourself and others. I still matter. My well-being is important. I am worth the effort. So, my friend, I hope you'll think about those two beliefs. The idea that loneliness is normal, and the thought that taking care of yourself doesn't matter anymore. Because neither is true, and both can quietly shorten your life and dull your spark if left unchecked. But when you start to challenge those thoughts, when you start replacing them with hope and action, something incredible happens. You start feeling more like you again, stronger, brighter, more connected to the world around you. And believe me when I say, you deserve that. Not just to survive, but to thrive. Not just to be remembered, but to feel alive right now. It's amazing what can shift when you decide to believe in your own worth again. That quiet decision to care, to reach out, to try something new, can become the turning point that changes everything. And that brings us to one last belief. One that might be the most dangerous of all, simply because it sounds so reasonable. It's the thought that it's too late for me to change. That sentence has probably crossed every mind at some point. Maybe not out loud, but in the background, like a quiet whisper that slowly takes hold. You might hear it when you think about picking up a new habit, or trying to reverse a health issue, or even making peace with the past. I'm already 70, 75, 80, what's the point? Change is for younger people. But here's what I want to gently and lovingly say to you today. It is never too late. Not for healing, not for growth, not for joy, not for love, and certainly not for change. You see, the human spirit doesn't come with an expiration date. Our bodies may age, but our capacity for growth, for learning, for creating something new, it stays with us as long as we're breathing. I've met people in their 90s who picked up painting for the first time. Others who went back to school, learned to play an instrument, started dating again, or began walking every morning after decades of inactivity. And every single one of them told me the same thing. I feel alive again. That's not magic. That's simply what happens when we stop telling ourselves that time has run out and instead start asking, what if there's still more waiting for me? Sometimes change doesn't come in the form of a grand decision. Sometimes it's quiet. It's the choice to speak a little more kindly to yourself, to forgive something or someone that's been weighing on you, to say yes to something new, even when fear tells you to say no. There's a story I love about a man who, at 78, decided to plant an orchard. People laughed at him. You'll never live to see the trees bear fruit, they said. But he just smiled and said, that's true, but someone else will, and I'll enjoy watching them grow. That's the beauty of change. It doesn't always have to be about what you get from it. Sometimes it's about what you give to the future or what you reclaim for yourself along the way. Even if your body moves slower, even if your eyesight isn't what it used to be, your mind, your heart, and your spirit are still capable of incredible transformation. But only if you stop listening to the belief that says, it's too late. Let's be honest. Some changes will be harder than others. Starting a new routine or dropping an old habit takes courage. But what's the alternative? Staying stuck just because it feels safe? That's not living. That's just getting through the day. Every step you take, even the smallest one, is a declaration that your story is still unfolding. You are still becoming. You are still here, and that matters. So if there's a dream you've tucked away, a relationship you've let fade, a part of yourself that feels neglected, don't write it off just yet. Ask yourself, what would I do if I believed it wasn't too late? And then just try. Not perfectly, not dramatically. Just try. There's this beautiful resilience in people who choose to grow no matter their age. It's like watching a flower bloom out of season. Unexpected, yes, but breathtaking all the same. And you can be that flower. You are that flower. I hope all of this encourages you to take a fresh look at the beliefs you may have been holding on to, not because you've done anything wrong, but because you deserve the freedom of new possibilities. You deserve to be free from the myths that say your best days are behind you. Your body may have changed. Your pace may be slower, but your heart still beats with life, with memory, with potential. And if you've been carrying even one of these dangerous beliefs, whether it's that you're too old to grow, that self-care no longer matters, that loneliness is just something to endure, or that change is no longer for you, I hope you'll consider letting them go, one by one, gently, patiently, and with so much grace. Because the truth is, life after 60, 70, 80, it's not the end of the book. It's a new chapter. And you, my friend, are the author. You still get to choose the plot, the tone, the meaning. You still get to surprise yourself. And if you've ever doubted that your small steps could lead to big change, let this be your reminder. Everything starts with a thought, a decision, a belief. So believe this with all your heart. You're not done yet. In fact, some of your most meaningful, beautiful moments may be just ahead. If this video resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Share your experiences. What belief are you ready to let go of? What new story are you ready to write? And if this message touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more encouraging content like this. Thank you for spending this time with me. I truly believe in your strength, your wisdom, and your ability to grow. Here's to living with more hope, more joy, and more freedom every single day, because you are still here. And that means your story isn't finished yet. Here's to living your best life at any age.